Welcome to the 757 Renaissance Man Podcast. On this episode, we chop it up with Cletus Kassady. We discuss who has the best chicken, FBC, Fat Boy Crew, and going to the gym, thoughts of Lil Nas X and devil twerking. Does God have a sense of humor? The similarities and differences between the KKK and the Black Panther Party. The Virginia Beach oceanfront shootings. How do we reach these kids? P-Town's finest, and much, much more. Let's have a conversation with Cletus Kassady. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the 757 Renaissance Man Podcast. I am your host, Sean Connors, and with me today, I have a fellow 757 Renaissance Man, Mr. Cletus Kassady. How are you doing today, sir?
I didn't even know I had made it the Renaissance Man status, man.
Yeah, man.
I gotta check the mail, man. Apparently, I didn't get my certificate.
You didn't get your card?
I didn't get it, man. I apprate you having me, though.
Yeah, you can flash that card at, it work at the Dollar Tree and Dollar General. And
the only places I shop. You ain't really had steak until you had Dollar Tree steak. A lot of people be walking around talking about they had real steak, but that's that Dollar
real
Tree steak is what you want.
Right.
And I don't know what animal it comes from, but it's steak.
You can flash that thing at churches and get one of them extra super duper strong wings.
Hey, yeah, they got the steroid wings at churches. Now the one thing about churches, man, they always got whatever flying animal they have there. They always have it available. I'll go to churches before I go to Popeyes. And the only reason, man, I stay away from Popeyes, man, is because they have a habit of never having chicken.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
Rough. You are a chicken restaurant. Like, why is it that y'all don't have, it's like going to a sex shop and they're not having any sex. They be like, that's the only thing y'all serve here, man. So they be like, but we got amazing Bible study, but that's not why I came here. I didn't come to the strip club for Bible study. This is wrong. So, yeah, that's my only complaint with Popeyes. Now, food-wise, Popeyes tastes better than churches.
When you can get it.
But you gotta when can you get it? So I'm going. I know you didn't even ask this question. I just decided the inner fat boy and me took over out of nowhere, man. But I think the hierarchy of chicken, non-farm fresh, because I think farm fresh leads the nation in chicken right now, even though their recipe has changed just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go with Royal Farms as the king of gas station chicken. And
they came into town and knocked Dodgers out the spot.
Yeah, but they've been here, they've been around. They not new to it. If you drive up and down 13, man, you go up north, that's all they got is Royal Farms.
Yeah.
So they was ready. They was ready for the challenge. They came through. So they the king of
getting
gas station chicken.
Getting your fill up in your wing. Yeah.
Now, overall, Wawa, now they're trying to compete with Royal Farms. So they're doing everything but fried chicken.
Yeah.
So, but I truly believe Wawa fried chicken is on the way. I believe it. But I'm a local guy, man. I'm going to go with Golden Skillet or Feather and Fin for my fried chicken stuff.
Man, I grew up right around, I grew up in Camelot, so I didn't grow up too far from that Golden Skillet. And I hadn't had it in years. Yeah. Well, so, okay.
I meant Fry Basket. I'm sorry. I meant Fry Basket.
Well, the funny thing is, I recently went back and I had to, just for nostalgia's sake, get me some Golden Skillet.
You got to. It reminds me of all my favorite funerals.
Yes. Yeah,
so
man.
now flipping it, man. Cause you know what? I'm gonna stop because this is an uncomfortable position for me. Simply because I'm used to interviewing people.
Okay.
So it's hard when I'm on an interview. So if I get a Beyonce takeover spirit, man, just just sit me down.
Oh no, that's all right. That's
So
all
with
right.
the LVAD,
Uh-huh.
are you still able to eat a lot of fried foods, or do you have to kind of eat that in moderation?
Yeah, so this is my struggle right now. I am to stay listed, I have to stay under a certain weight. More importantly, a certain BMI. It's more BMI than it is weight. And my struggle right now, especially with COVID, is I haven't exercised like I used to.
Got you.
I had just gotten to, we in the Fat Boy crew. I ain't ashamed to
Yeah,
say it.
absolutely. Yeah, FBC.
Yeah, Fat Boy Church Boy crew. We the same crew. So I got into exercising just for health reasons, and I got going to the gym, and I got used to going to the gym, and then COVID happened and shut everything down.
Got you.
So
So
I have to be careful what I eat. Yes.
I've been going to the gym. I go to the gym actually quite a bit. Now my next step is going inside. So
Right.
so I go over there all the time, man. I do a lot in the parking lot, man. I kind of watch.
Yeah,
pick up
you
other
got to
people's
work up.
techniques.
You got to work it up. You got to touch the door and then
Baby
go back
steps,
to the
man.
car.
Yeah, baby steps. Yeah, baby steps. They killing me for $20 a month though.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. So let's get into a couple current events.
Let's do it.
Because I wanted to get your opinion on something. We're going to have to pray for my boy. What's up with Lil Nas X, man?
So here's the thing. I'm a different type of person, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem with Lil Nas X. I just don't listen to him.
Mm-hmm.
That's just not my guy. So now as a father of a teenager that I love and a 9-year-old that that I keep around because of the law.
Right. And tax purposes.
Yeah. I have to know what is possibly influencing them musically and what they kind of listen to. But on the flip side, man, I don't have a thing with Lil Nas X. Lil Nas X is kind of screaming out because so there's two takes I'm gonna give, and I believe one of them is gonna be the right one. Take A is he just does this to get the attention to keep his name in the business and keep his name out there. So from the thing, calling yourself Lil Nas X, knowing that hip hop was already gonna be on your back for having the name Nas in your name,
right?
New hip hop was going, so you knew that was gonna kind of turn heads. It's like, yo, who is this Nas cat? And then you're a young black kid. He's just now turning 21. Your first real single is a country song.
Right.
So you already know that's gonna make waves, whether the song was good or not. The fact that this young black kid is out here doing country, they were like, wait a minute. And when he's doing it on the countryside, that Lil Nas X, now they're like, what you look here, and I'm not racist. I believe Muslims can do anything, but they're not doing our music. So, he bridged all of that controversy coming out. The song was good. He brought Billy Ray Cyrus in. He worked it. So now, but people really realized that was just surface level. Like, he didn't have no talent. Like, I dare people to give me a second Lil Nas X song.
Right.
Like, everybody knew Old Town Road. Okay, what else? He did a whole album. Nobody knows the album. So I think the second time, he was just like, here's what I'm finna do. I'm going to try to go as far left as I possibly can and get people talking about me again. And that's what we do. He's like, yo, I'm gonna buy Nike shoes, put people's blood in them. I'm just all the stuff. He just needs somebody to sit him down.
And Nike's like, yo, bro, you can't.
They were like, that wasn't us, cuz.
Right.
And it really wasn't them. The company just bought a whole bunch of Nikes
and customized them.
Customized them, put them back out there. So there's that. Now the second part, and hearing him talk, that dude is hurt. And he's been hurt by the church. He's been hurt by the regular community. He's been hurt by the hip hop community. And he was like, yo, the church, y'all keep calling me devil just because of my lifestyle choice. Then I'm going to flip it all the way and I'm going to push it there. Like, if you call somebody something often enough, they probably going to become that. So that's why I have people all the time call me skinny. I'd be like, yo, just call me thin. Call me slim every day.
Call me slim.
Keep calling me slim. Eventually, I'm going to resemble that comment. So I really think that there may be a hurt there, and the church and homosexuality is such a
slippery slope. Yeah.
Man, it ain't even slippery, dog. Like they preach against it, but then let it lead the choir.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you were to take homosexuality out of gospel music, man, we would have like 2 songs.
Right.
Like literally some of the greatest songwriters, and I'm not gonna out nobody, but
Mm-hmm.
some of the greatest songwriters that we have, bam, homosexuality. And so homosexuality seems to be the it sin of the church.
Yeah.
And not so much fornication. Like, okay, fornication. I mean, they be like, who does it?
Right.
You know, like you're like, he's sleeping around. It's all right. He can still get to heaven. You know what I'm saying? You drinking, the life of the party. Jesus drank too. He made wine. You can do drugs, smoke a little weed, do it. It's fine. All that's fine.
It's natural. Right.
Divorce, right. Divorce, that's cool. They don't worry about the verses that say it's not. We in reality, we've grown. But he'd be like, homosexuality, oh, no, we can't have it.
Right.
So it's crazy. And so I'm of the belief that you don't force your opinions and your beliefs on other people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're ever going to get anybody to convert to your thought processes as religiously or relationship, as people are now saying, which is the cool term, by beating people upside the head for what they think.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I believe the best thing for Christians to do is do like Jesus did. Live your life. Let people see that you live in it. And they're going to be like, hey, man, why you act like that? Why do you operate this way? Oh, I do that because I believe this.
Right. Live by example.
Yeah. They be like, okay, that's all right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the moment you come on there, hey, condemnation, they be like, nah, cuz.
I finally saw the video for the first time earlier today, and it's a bit much.
Well, listen, I have yet to make myself watch all of it.
Oh.
But the clips that I've seen, the pole dance down to the fiery furnace,
to the lap dance
with Satan. I'm like, nah, cuz. And I'm a grown man. I don't lap dance with anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And plus, I'm full-figured, fluffy.
Yeah, that could be a lawsuit.
Yeah, you asking for leg injuries. So I ain't been in nobody's lap since I was 3.
Right. Yeah, I watched the video, man. I had to cleanse my palate and bring up some old Michael Jackson videos.
Something. I don't even know if that was really palate cleansing. I thought you were gonna be like, I had to go watch some Clark Sisters or something. But yeah.
Yeah, it was. I don't even know what to say, and I agree with you. I think he's reaching out because it's like he did everything he could possibly do to get a reaction with that video.
Everything. Maybe like, hey, he'd be like, hey man, can we just have Satan make a guest appearance?
Right.
Nah, not good enough. Got to lap dance with him.
Gotta
like, what?
dance.
Who is taking?
We gotta take him down to Magic City.
You know what's crazy? Even the Satan in the video doesn't look comfortable.
Right.
Like, the Satan is kind of like, like if you make Satan uncomfortable, how bad are you?
Yeah, he's like, the check cleared, right?
Like at the end, like Satan called SVU. Satan was like, give me Olivia and Stabler.
Well, yeah, that's and the only reason it came to my attention was the whole shoe thing, because everybody knows I'm a sneakerhead. So as soon as it happened, everybody was like, "You gonna get the Satan shoes? Are you really gonna ask me? Am I gonna get the Satan shoes?"
I don't even have a pair of shouting shoes. So y'all talking about me going all the way to the left?
Right.
The Satans,
the air Satans.
and there's just some things like I believe God, no condemnation, and He's forgiving. But I still think there's some stuff when you get there that He's gonna really have a conversation with you about.
Right.
And if you buy the air Satans, I think that's numero uno on. Hey, come here real quick.
Yeah.
Hey, come here,
but before I send you down there, I just want to know
what were you thinking? Like, it's like He really is gonna talk to you. Like, I really believe God will be like, He did what? Like, oh nah. Like if that's the balance in the scale. Like I've been baptized 8 times. I think He'll be okay with that over me buying a one pair.
Do you think? So I believe God has a sense of humor.
Oh, absolutely.
I think God is upstairs weak at some of us.
Oh, without question, most.
Do you think
most of us.
God has ever second judged making an individual like what? Did I go too far with him?
Absolutely. Listen, if you don't really believe it, like God has hit the reset button already. You know what I'm saying? He's already been like, you know what? Nah, cuz like 2 times in the Bible already, he's destroyed whole
Right.
cities and the whole world. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it's good that he has a sense of humor now. Like I'm glad that God softened up. He had a son. Cause you know, you a man, you know how you get a little salt after you had your first child. Like
Right.
when you ain't got no kids, you thug life. Yo, I'll destroy the whole earth.
I will smoke thee.
I'm smiting. He was smiting left and right. But then he had a baby. He was like, dog, I can't be out here smiting no more, dog. I got a whole child. So he softened up a little bit. So I think his sense of humor is what lets us stay here.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm 100% sure. Like I got an aunt that's like 95 right now, and I'm sure he knows that's his mistake. That's his bad, and so that's why she don't never die. Like she the last one. Like every funeral she come to, I be like, yo, you on deck, you next, and she don't never go, dog. And I really believe it's because they don't want her in heaven. And they don't want her in hell, so they just gonna let her
She's gonna
be.
stay here.
I swear she's gonna be 337 years old. Like I swear she is.
So all right, another subject I want to talk to you about. I like your consciousness, and you do it in a way where you're not overly conscious. Like
I had lost you for this 1 second. You disappeared. You said you like my consciousness.
I like your consciousness. I like how you're not overly conscious, because you can go too far. You can still be in the hood.
You don't have to be sleep deprived. You
And
can
then
be
you
woke,
don't,
but don't be sleep deprived.
right? And then you don't have to be fighting with the hoteps and wearing sandals.
Right.
It's a middle ground that you can play.
So I'm an accountability guy from our race. So here's some things about me. Like a lot of the stuff that people are doing now, I did when I was in 11th grade. My 11th grade term paper. I don't know if y'all had to do it when y'all were in school, but in 11th grade you had to write a term paper. My 11th grade term paper was on the similarities and differences between the KKK and the Black Panther Party.
Whoa.
That was in the 11th grade.
Okay.
Right? I did that. That's me at 16, 17 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then same thing my daughter's doing now. Like I was getting recruited and stuff to go to college, and I was like, yo, I'm going to a black school. Like black, you know, I'm black, y'all. And I'm black, y'all. And I'm blackity black. So what happened? What happened was I went to the illustrious Norfolk State University.
Behold the green and gold.
Absolutely. But what happened was I started getting a better worldview. I started going around the world. I started being around different people. I started meeting different people. And I realized like ignorance doesn't have a color.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like ignorance doesn't just come in white people. It's a lot of ignorant black people. Like I grew up in the hood. I tell people all the time, like I'm more likely to get killed by somebody that looks like me. And they call it proximity. They be like, oh, it's because black people live near you. I'm like, yeah, but we still don't have to have a murderous spirit just because we live near each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I haven't been robbed by any white people. Never.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I've been mistreated by police of both black and white. You know, I've had a black cop treat me bad. I had a white cop treat me bad. I've had the opposite happen. Mm-hmm. I've had them both treat me good. I've had white people who have been tremendous to me. I've had black people who have been amazing to me. So I think we need to stop and act like skin color is what causes a lot of their ignorance. Mm-hmm. Now, what I am concerned about with the black community, because that's the community that I live in. That's where my kids are. That's where my family is. I still believe that we still have an onus on ourselves that we need to meet, that we're failing to meet. Mm-hmm. We are failing to meet. Recently in Virginia Beach, Virginia, they had a night, just a horrible night.
Yes.
And I remember it because I was working at the Funny Bone that night. And when we got out, I was like, yo, one of my homeboys with me. He's like, yo, it's a beautiful day, man. I know the strip is going to be jumping. And I was like, and I've lost nothing down there. Mm-hmm. I ain't got no reason to go. You know, and so then we come up the next morning, we wake up, or throughout that night, we start hearing, yo, it's gunshots down here. And there's 10 people shot in Virginia Beach. 10 right. On the oceanfront where people go with their kids. Like, true story, when they had the Greek Fest down there, and this might be
89. In 89, yeah.
But my mom took me down there that year. Mm-hmm. Just one of them days, like, my mom never took me on trips. If it wasn't church sponsored, I don't think we went. The only reason I ever went to Busch Gardens in Kings Dominion was because the Sunday school let us go, and they had like requirements. You had to come to like 20 services before you could get a free ticket. So my mom, all of a sudden, it was like a Saturday. She was like, yo, let's go down to Virginia Beach. Like, hey, this is cool. I don't necessarily like dirt, But we can go to the beach. Yo, and we down there, everything is breaking out. The Greek Fest is breaking out. It's crazy. So that night, you got 10 people getting shot, and the only thing people want to talk about is, well, the police officer shot somebody, ain't have his camera on. Yo, do y'all not understand? And this is a hear my heart on this situation. I'm definitely upset that the young man was killed by the police officer. I definitely believe the police officer should have had his camera on. There's some protocols that need to be followed. But do we not realize that the main reason that young man was in this position, that the police officer was in this position, is because some idiots decided that the best thing to do down there is to shoot at the beach.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all started this whole melee. You started a whole war zone down there. Like, we keep overlooking that. Like, let's not overlook the root problem is why are young people now, we fought growing up. Not me and you, Sean, but, you know, we fought growing up. You had a fight every blue moon. You heard somebody getting shot in our kids' range. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now that's all these kids do. Man, I'm watching videos of kids in Portsmouth shooting, having real shootouts. Bang, bang, bang. They just shooting at each other on video. Yeah. And nobody is saying, what's the problem? So then you got these people out here, man, with agendas who are trying to get money, who are trying to get financing, and they're saying, oh, let's roll out here, let's do this. Let's talk to the kids. Let's have a symposium. Dog, Nuck is not coming to a symposium.
Right.
He's not going to come sit down and talk to you at a meeting. The kids that are going to come to those are the kids who are not getting in any trouble anyway. We need to try to figure out ways to focus on these kids. And I hate to tell people this, but it's not the same approach that we used in the 60s.
Yeah.
Dog, when I was a kid, my coaches could come to school, adults could come to school, and they could call me broke and prove it. Now you go in high school, like some of these kids that's running scams, like it was kids out here, like Sean, real talk, it was kids out here doing PPP loans for people.
Yeah.
That was one of the scams they was running. These kids is getting money. You can't even come to them and be like, you broke. They be like, dog, I'll buy you. I'll be like, oh, my bad. I ain't need to disrespect you. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different time.
Right.
And so now when you talk about mentoring, this is one of the things that I try to impress upon people when they say they want to start a mentoring program. If you're going to mentor the kids of the day, and especially those kids who come from low-income homes, low-income families, who have been in the streets and hustling, if your mentorship can't take them and provide them with at least some of the money that they were getting in the streets,
they're not trying to hear you.
Mentorship is going to lose.
Right.
You can't just be like, oh, listen, big brothers, big sisters, this ain't the time for that.
Right. You need to come with more than a t-shirt.
Got to. You can't just be like, let's go to a baseball game. Man, them kids ain't worried about no baseball game. Show me how to flip it. Right. And we're not doing stuff to help kids. Listen, Sean, one of the things that I always have believed, if somebody had to come to me when I was a junior in high school and told me that firemen only work 4 days out of the month or whatever it is they work, like a ridiculous number of days, I would have been a fireman graduating. I had no idea. I wasn't exposed to that. You telling me I'm going to get money while only working 7 days out of the month?
Yeah.
Sign me up for that Christian Jubilee. You know what I'm saying? We're not grabbing kids, and the stuff that we are teaching, the mindset hasn't changed of the elders. And I don't want your listeners to get mad at me, Sean, but everybody don't need to go to college.
True. I believe that.
Everybody don't need to go to college. But you know who I know make money? My lawn guy.
Right.
My lawn guy is hitting me for $40 every 10 days.
I believe you should at least try it because you might meet somebody, you might learn something. But does everybody need a degree?
College is not for everybody.
I got cousins
is for everybody
that are tractor trailer drivers that make 6 figures and only work 8 months out the year.
Easy. It's not the college. It's not college per se, which is necessary. It's the knowledge. If you can figure out a way to get that knowledge, that information to put you at the top of where you need to be, then that's what's important. I mean, if you're gonna be a doctor, yes, you definitely have to go to college. I'm not trying to let you do surgery on me after you saw it on YouTube.
Right.
The unpopular opinion, I think with teachers. I think teachers learn more when they're actually in the classroom, hands-on. You got to know more than the 4th grade, of course. But you see it now when they do these career switchers, when they try to take people who have real world experience and put them in the classroom. Like they're like, hey, this is what you need to do. Like there's a lot of teachers. You can go to listen, that was my major in school. You go to every class in the world, Sean. You don't know what to do when little nut come in that classroom. There is no class nut 101.
Right. Right.
You got to actually learn it in the classroom, work. We're backwards with what we do college. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen a non-traditional student, that means somebody like 30 plus, flunk out of college?
No, because they're paying for it.
Never will.
Right.
Because they understand the value of college.
Mm-hmm.
They understand what the education is going to do for them, and they usually have a direction as to what they want to do with their life.
Mm-hmm.
When you go out there and live, and you ain't got no money, and you eating bologna sandwiches 3 out of 7 days of the week, and somebody's like, "Yo, come take this class, and this is gonna put you in a different tax bracket." Dog, you paying attention, you taking notes. You ain't worried about no party, no football game.
And another thing I think that's messing up with education now, and it's funny you mentioned that because I was an early childhood major at Norfolk State, but it didn't work out. But anyway, I think that teaching to these standardized tests is messing our kids up,
destroying them.
Messing them up real
financial.
bad.
That's money.
When I was in school, we had a teacher. His name was Mr. Venners. Mr. Venners was a retired Marine. Mr. Venners had 4.5 suits. And you can tell what day of the week it was, depending on what color suit Mr. Venners had on. But the great thing about Mr. Venners is if something happened, he was a history teacher. If something happened in the news, he would stop all his lesson plans, break it down to you, let you discuss it, and then kind of in a way, his own way, would tie it back into the lesson plan. Now you don't have that freedom to teach because you got to teach to this test. I don't care the riots is popping off outside and y'all want to talk about it. We're not going to do that because we got to study for this test. And I think that is really teaching and that's one of the reasons I didn't become a teacher, because I felt that I wouldn't be actually teaching anything, or, you're studying for this test.
And it's interesting. I remember being in school and watching the Challenger.
Mm-hmm.
And we were watching when Challenger exploded.
Yeah, they had
everybody was watching it.
The
we
TVs.
was all like, I don't think that's supposed to happen.
Right.
Like Ms. Smith, I don't think that was something wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the thing about it was real life. It was happening in real time. We started learning about space at that time. That's how you get kids interested, like in stuff that's really, really happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I got 2 kids, one that I love, and the other one. And so one is in private school, one is in public school. The private school one, they don't teach to the test.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're doing an amazing job, man, of being able to do real life stuff, to be out in the world and really learn at a different level than what you have to do in public school. I'm in the public school system, so I fight with them for them too, to try to make sure that these teachers have a lot of the stuff that they need. And most teachers don't like teaching to the test. Mm-hmm. Most teachers want to teach. Mm-hmm. They don't want to prepare. What they're doing now is preparing you for a test. Most teachers want to teach. And because we're doing the test, that's why a lot of our kids don't have any kind of common sense. They don't know.
They're not teaching them about life. They need to definitely have a course of how to balance your checkbook.
No, they don't, because we don't do checkbooks. If you're still writing checks, I don't want you to.
Holding up the line
on how to log into your bank account.
Holding up the line at Walmart.
Yeah, I can't. If you still writing checks, we got issues.
Hold on.
I definitely think you need to know how to budget.
How you spell 50 again?
Right. I think you need to know how to budget.
Right.
I think you need to know how to, you need to know what your income is and your expenses are. You need to know that
the values of credit.
More than the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are real life things. I think we do need real life lessons, but if you in there balancing checkbooks, Sean, and we got bigger issues.
I didn't told my age.
No, you done told everybody that you are 95 years old. You said right. I ain't wrote a check. I don't even have any checks. Somebody, I have a production company, and the people that would pay me like, yo, can you send us a canceled check? I was like, it's gonna be somebody else's.
So you're a child of Portsmouth, and you represent Portsmouth very well.
Yeah, I don't understand how that happened. I was born in Colorado Springs, Colorado, and then we moved here, and I was raised in Portsmouth. So yeah, I'm definitely a P-town kid.
Oh, so that explains the whole
Denver
Denver.
Broncos.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That was one of the questions I wanted to know.
Yeah, you're like, how did that happen?
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you grow up in this area and be a Denver Broncos fan?
But this area, I believe, is a free agent area. You can like whoever you want to like.
I'm a Dallas fan because we don't have a team.
That's unfortunate. But we don't have a team at all. So you just get to pick whoever. So if you look, most of the people in this region, especially if they grew up here, are NFC East people. Mm-hmm. Historically speaking, when everybody first got TVs, Eagles games used to be what they showed. Mm-hmm. So you ended up with a large Eagles base. Mm-hmm. Then they started showing like and then people would root against the Eagles. So they would pick Redskins, Giants, whatever, because all the Eagle games was on. But we always had the NFC East games here, which is wild. First of all, you're a Dallas fan. Dallas fans, they bright because that Dallas should clearly be an NFC South team. Right. But there's no way Texas is on the East Coast. But we'll move past that. Y'all are challenged in a lot of different ways.
I guess they meant when it was on its own country and they tried to see.
No, there's no explaining it.
Jimmy Jones just got money. That's all.
Jerry. Jim Jones. No, we are.
Oh,
not
he got the Kool-Aid.
That's a whole different Jones.
So tell me about your upgrowing in Portsmouth.
Man, listen, Portsmouth made me. I tell people all the time, Portsmouth made me. Portsmouth is a weird town. If you can survive Portsmouth, you can survive anywhere. I've been able to go different places in the world, and just because I grew up in Portsmouth and I knew that was wrong, like. You'll never get out of Portsmouth and not have a sense of, I probably shouldn't go over there. Right. Like that you have a Portsmouth spidey sense.
Right. So, it's like tingling.
Yeah. I went to the greatest high school in the history of the world, Woodrow Wilson High School. This is the last year of that particular school. That's a whole different story. Went to Woodrow Wilson High School, man, and from there in Norfolk State. Grew up in a single parent home. We grew up downtown. I am who I am because of the way that I was raised. It forced me to become a comedian, if that makes any sense. I lived downtown with my mom. I was the only child. My mom worked a lot. My mom was a teacher, and she did not want me to be a latchkey kid in our neighborhood. Okay. So I went to school from my grandma's house. She lived in a better neighborhood called Cavalier Manor. It was much better than where we live, man. In Cavalier Manor, they had indoor plumbing and 2-parent households and all kinds of great stuff. So I would go to school there. So here was my conundrum. If you really think about it, during the school day, what do all the kids talk about? What happened in the neighborhood? Then when you go in the neighborhood, what do everybody talk about? What happened at school? So I went to school in my grandma's neighborhood. I was unable to talk about what happened in the neighborhood because I didn't hang out there. My mom would pick me up after school and take me back home. And so when we get in the neighborhood, kids in the neighborhood would be talking about what happened in school, and I didn't go to school with them. So I had to develop an ability to either control the conversation, control where the conversation went, be humorous in the conversation, or flat out lie and make it up. Okay. Dog, I was able to do stuff, man, and make up experiences and talk, and you felt like I was there. I ain't go to third lunch with you. But I talked it so vividly that I was able to do it. You know what I'm saying? I was always precocious, stayed in trouble, but I was really, really smart. I was get to the town that was still getting suspended. It was really weird. I stayed on punishment. So again, I had to do stuff to make stuff up. So I'm on punishment. I think I was on punishment all of 1989 through 1992, something crazy. Like I was on punishment for years. Okay. And 89 might be a stretch, but maybe early 80s. And so when everybody else would be talking about Cosby Show at school, I've been on punishment the whole time. Right. I would have to come up with enough from hearing people talk that you would think I watched the Cosby Show with you, so that I could be part of the thing. And so that's kind of helped me at this point in my career. Excuse me, especially with my writing and things like that. Now I had this vivid imagination. I can see things I know. So that helped me out a lot, man. Being a single, being an only child or the single mom living in the hood, it was so much. Cause I was at a Lil Nas X place without Satan.
Right.
It was just like, who's teaching me how to be a man? Is the hood gonna teach me how to be a man? And it's crazy because the hood didn't accept me a lot of times because I'm articulate.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a church kid.
Mm-hmm.
Then I started playing sports, and so the hood was different when I was growing up. If you played sports, the hood wouldn't let you in.
Mm-hmm.
If they knew that you was a sports guy, they'd be like, "Nah, you playing football,
You
dog.
might
That's
do
what you
something.
concentrate
Right.
on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you running track, nah, you need to. That's what you need to do. You can't be over here doing what we do. The streets had a code then. Ain't no code now. So yeah, that was Portsmouth for me, man. It created who I am. And getting away from it. I've lived in New York, Portsmouth, Norfolk, Chesapeake for a little bit. I lived a little bit of everywhere. So that's really helps me to understand all the different experiences and things. It's crazy. Like if people knew my real story of growing up, they'd be like,
But I feel I grew up in Camelot, so we was right next to each other.
yeah, like I'm literally I can see Camelot now from where I live now. Like I can just look out the window and see Camelot.
And I feel you on the whole Portsmouth Spidey sense.
Yeah, because Camelot had that too.
Yeah.
Like people try to sleep on Chesapeake. Like Chesapeake ain't got his hood spots, but like South Norfolk, all them kids that play for Oscar Smith, yeah. Now Hickory, they don't know nothing about the hood of Hickory, but Camelot, South Norfolk.
But Camelot, we kind of got a little Portsmouth pass because we're so close. We're right there.
Right, y'all Portsmouth adjacent.
Yeah,
y'all are Portsmouth-ish.
Yeah. Now other neighborhoods, I don't know. You may not get that same pass.
Yeah. We accepted Camelot. We accepted Camelot. It's funny because people from Portsmouth, we thought Camelot was like great. Like y'all lived on Sir Lancelot. Like we're like, man, that's amazing.
Right.
And Camelot was basically Chesapeake's Cavalier Manor.
Yeah. Cavalier, and separated by the railroad tracks.
That's it. Yep.
Yeah. We used to sneak through that before it was that business part. We used to go through. Are you familiar with the moat?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We used to sneak through the moat and go through Cavalier Manor and hang out over there.
Y'all ain't know what y'all doing. I'm chasing them girls. I know what y'all was doing, Sean. I ain't gonna say it out loud now.
On the BMX.
That was your youth. And man, see, look, and that was a different time. Like kids now, my kids can't leave a yard.
Right,
Mike. Like, when we was kids, dog, you got a bike. The whole world was open.
Yeah. And like my limitations was don't leave Camelot. Do you know how big Camelot is?
Exactly.
Even though I just snitched on myself and said I went over to Cavalier Manor. But
you did tell, but I don't think you get put on punishment for it now.
I think the statute of limitations is over with that one.
I rode my bike to Richmond one time. Just me and a BMX. Just straight up 64 on a bicycle. Just long as and I made it back home before the street lights came on. That's what it was.
That's what it was. And then my kids are so frustrated because they're like, Daddy, we always hear about these stories about your friends and y'all being able to go out. And I was like, but it was a different time though.
They didn't take no kids back then. Nobody snatching kids. I mean, like every now and again you'll see kids on the milk box. But they don't even, it's so many now, they don't even put them on the milk container no more. You remember they used to be on the milk container.
And don't get me wrong, you still had, freaky people and molesters and stuff. But everybody knew. Right. They knew if you go by this house and you get your butt felt on, it's your own fault.
We done told you stay from around Maurice's house.
Right.
Not any Maurice's that are watching. I'm not calling anybody out. Like it was the first name that come to my head. But yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
And our black families, we fostered that kind of attitude because we all knew, don't leave the kids with Cousin Junie.
Right.
Because we all knew Cousin Junie was nasty. I don't leave Uncle Junie in there along with them children. Your auntie come running through the house. She was outside. Who in the house with the kids? Just Junie. Oh!
I ain't got no money for no therapy.
She running right in the house. Junie, get away from them kids.
All right.
Eat some ribs.
I got a 2-part question for you.
All right, 2-part questions.
What is your favorite Portsmouth word, and what is your favorite Portsmouth food?
My favorite Portsmouth word is stick man.
Of course. Yeah.
My favorite Portsmouth word is stick man because don't nobody know it. Like you go anywhere in the world, you be like, yo, that's my stick man. They be like, what?
Oh, you must be from Portsmouth.
Yeah, they don't know where you're from. And my favorite Portsmouth food is yak.
Man.
Got into a whole argument with Tony Baker, Kev on stage to hear more. we were on tour for the Real Comedians of Social Media tour, and the tour came to Norfolk. And so my girl Shayla was the tour manager at the time. She's from Portsmouth. She was like, "Yo, y'all gotta have yacht. Y'all gotta have yacht." And so it started this huge debate online too. So first of all, it's hard to explain yacht to anybody.
Right.
You be like, "Yo, what's yacht?" And he'd be like, "Oh, look, it's noodles, ketchup, soy sauce,
A random piece of chicken.
Yeah, any piece. It could be a leg, thigh, whatever. Just
random,
chicken,
right?
Onions. Hey, if you listen to it like that, you be like, "Yeah, that's not good at all." But if you put it all together, it's great. Tony Baker called it a Hunger Games meal. But yeah, so we had some. They didn't like it. They were like, it must be an acquired taste. But yeah, that's my favorite Portsmouth food.
Somebody told me yacht was struggle in a box.
It may be, but isn't Portsmouth a struggle in a box?
Right.
It's right. What we are.
All right. So honorable mention to the word yacht. Yakking. You know when you're running from police and you yak on somebody?
That one I don't know. That
you
one.
Ever heard that one?
That must be a Camelot.
It might be a Camelot word.
Yeah, we don't have that.
We yacked on somebody.
You find different words, like in Baltimore, they'll be like, "Yo, that's a bop." Mm-hmm. And I'd be like, what is that? And they're not even talking about a song. They'd be like, "That's a long way to go." Mm-hmm. They'd be like, "That's a bop." My second favorite Portsmouth word has got to be jank.
Jank, yeah.
Because that jank there, this jank, the jank can be anything.
Jank is a noun, is an adverb,
is everything. It's like, yo, we was at that jank. Y'all was at that jank? Yeah, sir. You got that jank? Yeah, boy, some janks in there.
Right.
It's a lot, man. It could be janky. Like, yeah, janks. Yeah, jank is my word.
So where's your favorite spot to get yacht from?
Mama Chan's. Mm-hmm. Mama Chan's. Mama Chan's is my favorite place to get yacht. And then, second favorite is sausage and rice. Mm-hmm. So, you always had the people who grew up on either Mama Chan's or Sang Wong. Mm-hmm. On that was the sausage and rice. That was Bloods and Crips for sausage and rice. And so what made it crazy is that and the only difference in their sausage and rice was Sing Wong had like a light gravy, and
Mama Chan's had dark
gravy. Mm-hmm. And I'm a dark gravy dude. Like, don't give me this light skin gravy, man. I don't want no mulatto gravy. I want field slave gravy. That's what I want.
So it's a rumor that Mama Chan's is the original yacht.
I'm not gonna go with that because they have it up in Baltimore. They have it in a couple places. But yacht is definitely a struggle in a box. It's just everything that's left over. I'm like, yo, what else we have? What we haven't cooked? There's onion. Yeah, throw that in there. Mm-hmm. Like chicken thighs. Because I don't personally find a reason for thighs. Chicken thigh, or my grandmama call them a short thigh. Mm-hmm. That is a useless piece of chicken. Wait,
I can't do fried thighs.
Nobody has ever said, you know what, I really want some chicken thighs. You respect the gizzard and the liver more than you respect the thigh.
But I got to tell you now, when I got to Norfolk State, I kind of expanded my horizons and I started eating a lot of Caribbean food.
Okay.
Now, if you give a thigh to a Jamaican lady,
curry, she's gonna bring that curry chicken,
that jerk on it,
a jerk chicken, yeah. But again, the thigh is a struggle piece of chicken. Mm-hmm. That's struggle chicken. And so, like, when you talk about Jamaicans, like, for example, a lot of those Jamaicans, man, they're experiencing the same things that we experience as inner city African Americans. And so a lot of their stuff is going to be based off of poor. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, that's why they're eating plantains. That's why it's everything necessity. In rice. Mm-hmm. Oxtails. Like, if you look at it, it takes 75 oxtails for you to have halfway of a meal.
I felt some kind of way about oxtails because, to me, it's a little too close to parts that I don't want.
Yeah, you right there at cow butt, but, hey, listen, black people been eating chitlins forever, man. You can get some oxtail in your life.
And just the same way they say about chitlins, it's okay if you clean it. If you gotta clean it though.
Hey, listen, black people went so far with chitlins, they used to bleach chitlins. You don't know when they used to bleach? Yeah. They put a little bleach in the chitlins. So I'm sitting here gonna have Clorox and hot sauce on mine. It's ridiculous.
Well, hey, if the Clorox don't kill it,
Cars only kills 99.9, so that 0.1 is a lot. That's
That
a
will
lot.
get you.
That's a lot.
Oh, okay. So I want to know, when is Cletus Kassady running for city council?
Oh man, I don't know if you've seen my recent statement. I don't run for anything. So I've had that conversation with other people, including God,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not. I'm not gonna run for city council. I came very very close, very very close this year to running for school board.
Okay.
Um, but that was the Rona talking. I didn't have the Rona, but my schedule had cleared up to
Right.
the point where I was like, man, I got free time. What I don't know what to do with my hands. I was like, oh, let me run for school board. And so I talked to my manager, Joanne Fowlin. She's in New Jersey. And she's like, oh, that's great. I have no problem with you having political aspirations in 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now, the way that your grind is, where are you going to have time to be like, I'm going to school board meetings. I'm reading all the materials that you have to have.
Right.
Same thing with city council. You have to read up on everything. She's like, where are you going to have that time? You're already struggling. And I'm like, yeah, you're right.
But I believe that Portsmouth needs someone with your passion.
So here's my thing about that, right? So I take that, and I would rather be Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather be Batman. Batman's not tied to the police department. Batman, he's able to move and do what he is. And so I watched the show one time. I can't remember what movie it is, but that resonated so hard with me. The person was a cop, and then he lost his job as a cop, and he went looking for somebody, and the person's like, "You're not even a cop anymore." And he's like, "So that made me more or less dangerous."
Right.
And so that's been my thing with like school board and city council. Like I really feel like I can get more stuff done when I don't have to go through the red tape of city council, when I don't have to go through this is a Republican issue or a Democrat issue, when I don't have to go through a lot of other stuff, I don't get caught in that minutia. I'm able to just go get things done. So like, I'm trying to say it politely because I don't like talking about things that I do that often. But um, for example, this holiday season, I did a fundraiser to raise funds for a young man who had lost his parents. He lost both his parents. He's 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Lost both of his parents. He was in a private school. The grandmama was like, I don't know how I'm gonna pay tuition, none of that. So I did a fundraising comedy show, raised enough money to take that boy on a shopping spree in the mall and go pay off his tuition.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm not able to do that kind of stuff if I'm on school board. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If I'm on school board, it's Portsmouth has a population of this many kids that are unavailable, blah 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 blah. So what I've been able to do for the last 5 or 6 years, I've been on the superintendent's council, the superintendent's parents council, which is we meet with the superintendent quarterly. We talk to him, hey, yo, this is what's going on. So I'm dropping ideas in his head. Some of them they've gone with, some of them they haven't. I'm on the Title I commission, the Title I board, Title I parent board. A lot of people don't know we have 13 elementary schools in Portsmouth. So out of those 13, 12 are Title I. People are like, okay, what's Title I? That sounds good. Sounds like you won something. But what Title I is when at least 70% of the students in there live below poverty level.
Okay.
So 12 out of the 13 schools have 70% of their kids living below poverty. And so because of that, I'm able to get in there and be like, so what do we need to do? Mm-hmm. So I've been able to go to schools and be like, hey, look, what does your school need? Yo, we need pencils. Dog, got it. I can either get you pencils or I'll get you a group that's able to get you those pencils. I don't have to go through school board requisitioning pencils and things of that nature.
Red tape and yeah.
Right. So I've been able to work just as hard. And I'm dangerous because I keep putting pressure on them. Mm-hmm. So I have people all the time. I drop a video about stuff that's going on in the city, and they calling me. Mm-hmm. One way or the other. Man, I had a city council person try to argue me down in a barbershop, and I just made them look foolish. Mm-hmm. I mean, I just dogged them in there. But they know. And so now there's somebody that's holding them accountable. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Like they cannot operate with impunity. They're not able to do that. If nothing else, I'm gonna be like, yo, this is wrong. I'm gonna let the people know, yo, this is what's happening in your city. Either you can trust me or you don't trust me, but I'm gonna get the conversation going. And them people be scared, dog. They really be scared of me.
Yeah, man. So I really applaud you for that. I think people have to understand your duality. Yes, you're a comedian, but you also serve a higher purpose.
Yeah, without getting high. And throughout history though, some of the greatest leaders, man, that we've had have been comedians. Dick Gregory was amazing on
Yes.
that front.
Yeah.
Even if you take away his nastiness, Bill Cosby was on that front. Dave Chappelle is able to speak on that.
And
Chris Rock.
I know people personally that Bill Cosby paid their tuition at Hampton University.
And so you look at the duality we all have sin, and I'm 100% believing that he should pay for the things that he did. It's no reason for you to be drugging women and sleeping with them. You understand what I'm saying? And as an unattractive man, I know that it's hard to get a date, but you
But you was rich though. You was rich.
They was gonna come. You got money,
right?
And I'm poor, so I just live it up, man, and just be lonely. Just buy lots of lotion, but I think that's always been the voice, man. We've always had amazing voices, man. Moms Mabley was on the front line of the LBGTQ. I want to try to get all their letters in.
They add a new one every week. I don't know.
Every week they're gonna have all 26
and the vowels.
Right. So she was on the forefront of speaking out about women's rights and things that lesbians were or were not able to do. She was doing that way before. I mean, if you look at Richard Pryor, the way that he spoke on issues, being black in America. Richard Pryor is a man who grew up in a brothel. Like, people don't know, like his grandma is a madam. His grandma was a madam, and he grew up in a hoe house. Like, because people are like, a brothel, isn't that what you make soup out of? No, like, he grew up in a whorehouse. Like, literally grew up in that, and still was able to come back in and make some of the most amazing statements on race in our community as a comedian. Comedians, what a lot of people don't understand is we are mood enhancers, and we are articulate speakers. The best are. The best comedians are able to go into a room. See, a lot of people don't understand. A lot of times I go into a room, especially when you talk about doing urban comedy or doing comedy for African Americans. You go into a room where somebody has had a bad day all day. Their kids done got on their nerves. Their job is horrible. Their wife or husband ain't worth nothing. They got to deal with that all day long. Now they're in here. They want you to change their whole mood. Make me laugh.
Right.
So you have to be able to go in, read a room, and change somebody's entire perspective. Change the way a lot of people see things. That's one of the things that we have to do as comedians. And so even in our social commentary, we're able to handle it. Man, I can go in front of a room full of white people. I did it this week. I was with John Christ, who is one of the whitest people I know. And we had the Funny Bone, man, and it was 5 shows. In total, there may have been 10 people there that were of color. It sold out every night, but in those 5 shows, it might have been 10 black people. So now I'm able to get up. When I get up in front of the white people like that, I'm able to go and tell them, these are the things that you're doing wrong. These are the transgressions we get. This is what it's about, being black or white. This is how I see being here. Right. And even John is able to do it. John was able to go in there and talk about it. He said, man, do y'all really think we're saving black people by canceling Aunt Jemima? He's like, what were we thinking? And they're laughing, but it's now in their heads. Like, some people never thought of it that way.
Well, speaking of cancel culture, I find it a little disturbing because comedians are like my favorite people. Like you say, it's medicine. And how do you feel about everybody being really sensitive about comedians nowadays? Like,
the people who like you gonna like you.
Yeah, but I mean,
rock with you.
I thought that was one of the freedoms of being a comedian, being able to say the stuff that everybody else couldn't.
It used to be. Like Bernie Mac. If Bernie Mac were alive, like God took Bernie Mac, because they would have canceled Bernie.
Yeah.
This is the thing that Bernie said. Bernie would have got canceled. But the thing about it is, even in cancel culture is not really a real thing. Most of the people who say they canceling you didn't rock with you anyway. Really think about it. Think of all the stuff that we have boycotted and canceled.
Right.
Everybody, Chick-fil-A's got to go, man. They ain't near Chick-fil-A.
Never, ever. Chick-fil-A can go now. Chick-fil-A can give Satan a lap dance, and I think people be
like the chicken's delicious.
that
Yeah.
customer service though.
Man, did you hear that? My pleasure.
My pleasure.
They are putting the pleasure in my pleasure. Walmart. Everybody always like, oh, Walmart's the devil, but Walmart stays open. So I think that those people get in that cancel culture and they get their couple of days. But the people who rock with you are still gonna rock with you, especially in comedy, because there are comedians who say stuff that I can't even back up. But there are other people who feel that. And they're like, oh man, that's funny. I was like, nah, cause like I don't do, you know, I don't cuss, you know, I'm clean, but I don't even do drug jokes. Like I could write a million weed jokes. I've never smoked weed in my life, but I could write a million weed jokes if somebody, you know, paid me. But to me, it's just not funny. It's not. I don't do it. I know he takes a lot of hits, but like I don't feel Medea. That ain't my thing. Like I'd be like, there's plenty of black women that could play a black woman. Like let them. I'm not for to put on a dress to get people to laugh, but I don't hate them for it. It's just not me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think people should have the freedom of being them. The people who are going to follow them are going to follow them. The gift and the curse of the internet, the gift of the internet and social media is that social media gives everybody a voice. The curse of social media is that social media gives everybody a voice. Everybody shouldn't be heard. And now because of social media, where it used to be really hard for idiots to connect because they were spread out. Like if you got an idiot in Florida and an idiot in Seattle, they could never connect
together,
because
right,
they were so far. For social media, all these idiots now, they like right here. They're like, hey, idiot party. And they find some Michigan idiots. They find some, and they like, it's easy to find. So that's the problem now with social media. But at the same token, voices that need to be heard are also being heard. So, you know, I believe the great Negro poet said, take the bitter with the sweet, easy come, easy go.
Right. Man, it's a lot I want to get in with you, but maybe we're going to have to schedule a round two.
Man, whatever, man. I'm available, man. You better get in before this Rona ends, man.
I know, right?
People getting vaccinated, man, and now they think they from Krypton. They're like, I can do anything. See a person step in front of a car the other day. They're like, don't worry about it. I'm vaccinated.
Right.
I'm like, that's not fitting to save you from death.
So with that, in that same spirit, I noticed that you're opening again at the Virginia House of Comedy.
Virginia Beach Funny Bone.
I mean, I'm sorry. Ooh, I went way back.
You yourself again too, the House of Comedy. Shout out to my man Rob, though.
Yeah. What up, Rob? Funny thing, they gave me one of my first. I used to do graphic design.
Okay.
And I used to do all the flyers for them. They gave me my first shot. So
nice.
Yeah,
that's because Rob was cheap.
Yes.
Yeah. So I was like, hey man, I ain't going to nobody established. Get this new guy a shot.
So you're opening up again at the Funny Bone.
Yep. My most recent one is gonna be with Don DC Curry, Uncle Elroy.
Right.
He keeps saying over and over again. So I'm there with Uncle Elroy, man, doing 6 shows, which is gonna be great. Most of them are sold out already, but you know, and probably by the time this airs, y'all would have missed it. But I'm gonna tell you what, it was great.
It was great. Yes, you should have been there.
You should have been there. You should have been there.
So since you are in that vein and you get to introduce comedians, I thought that I would give you the opportunity to introduce yourself. But before we do that, I want you to tell everybody how they can get in touch with you, how they can find you, if they want to book you, how they can book you. And then I'm going to let you introduce yourself and play one of my favorite routines that you've ever did. I thought it was so creative. And I'm going to give you the opportunity.
You ain't going to tell me which clip it is, though.
No, I'm not.
All right, so mystery clip coming up. Man, listen, you can find me on all social media, man. We're doing this thing called branding. It's all Cletus Comedy, Cletus Comedy. So that's on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Plenty of Fish, Black People Meet, Farmers Only. You can find me on all of those. Cash App, all of that is there. If you ever need to book me, same thing, CletusComedy@gmail.com. I have an amazing manager, Joanne Fowlin, and Joanne will get you. And trust to believe, after I'm gonna give you my resume in the next one. So believe that's why the price is the price. Because black people be like, that it costs how much? I'm like, hey, dog. And I just learned a very valuable lesson, man, about not lowering yourself because people can't afford you.
Yeah.
Stay there. Like, Mercedes ain't like, hey, man, Mercedes don't set a price, and then people like, man, I can't afford that. They be like, okay, well, we'll give it to you for the Honda Accord price. They just be like, well, come back when you can afford a Mercedes. So that'll work. And then just introduce myself.
Introduce yourself. If you were introducing yourself at the Funny Bone, how would you do it?
Oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the stage is one of my favorite comedians, man. This is a young man who has worked in radio, television, and all sorts of mediums. You've seen him as a feature performer on the Real Comedians and Social Media Tour. He's an Encore Award winner, Stellar Award winner, and many, many, many more. Please put your hands together for the most amazing comedian of our time, Mr. Cletus Kassady.
757 Renaissance Man, we out.
You ever been to somebody's house, man, and they can really cook? Like the holiday come, and you kind of happy about the fact that you're going to that certain person's house because they can really cook. They fat, they greasy, they gonna start cooking. What's that? Thanksgiving on Thursday, they start cooking stuff on Tuesday. That's you. You get really excited. About Monday, you was just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. You don't care where they live, you will go. Like, you move to Siberia, on my way, I will be there. Wednesday night, you are so excited about going. Food will do that to you. Food will take you to a place of praise. Food will take you to a place of praise. So I wrote a simple praise and worship song that y'all can sing on your way in. The next time you get invited to somebody's house, you can really cook. I'm gonna have my singers help me sing it, but I'm gonna lay the foundation for them. If you get to that house, Aunt somebody, Uncle Rufus, he been smoking turkeys all week, burnt half the patio up. 37 gallons of peanut oil in his backyard. You just feel a praise in your spirit. You might start singing. We're gonna take it from the top or the bottom, because I'm gonna sing all the way. Don't even play nothing yet. Just try to find what key I'm in and get them right. Stringy and sticky, this is new for y'all. I just met y'all. Don't even know where y'all came from. You just gonna get in an emotional way. You just gonna get excited about the food somebody cooked. You just gonna be like, great is your cooking towards me. Roast beef and collards tasty. Warm tender turkey so sweet. And it's topped with gravy. Your cakes and pies are so sweet. And you even provided sweet tea. Great is your cooking towards me. Now let's say grace. Brother Wink, if you don't mind, just lead us. Great is your cooking towards me. Roast beef and collards tasty. Yes. Roast tender turkey so sweet. And then what? Topped with gravy. Your cakes and pies. Your cakes and pies are so sweet. And you even what? And you provided sweet. Yes. Great is your cooking to me. Now let's say grace. In the words of Johnny the Crooked Sister Karen sing. Great is your cooking towards me. Roast beef and collards tasty. Roast tender turkey so sweet. Topped with gravy.
Trust me, family. Now let's say grace for looking towards me. Roast beef and collards tasty. Roast tender turkey so sweet. Topped with gravy. So sweet, and you provide sweet tea. Grace your cooking towards me. Now let's say grace.
Thank y'all so much for having us out here this evening. Four of y'all got saved that song about turkey. Just turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor, it's Thanksgiving. Fat people rejoice. I'm Cletus Kassady. Wink Dunn, Rhonda Thompson, Slater Joel, Karen Boone. We love all of you. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cletus Kassady.
Man, that was sweet. And I love that song.
I don't shout much, but that made me shout.
I mean, that'll get right into your soul there. That's an inner Shondo.
Into the spirit.